What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? Welcome to Marriage Unmastered. It's your girl, Shireal, and I'm here with my handsome husband, Henry.
That's right. Say it again for everybody in the bag.
I don't want to.
Wow.
I mean, I
Terrible.
already said it.
No, but I'm going to actually have you do the introduction because I've been doing it for about 4 seasons now, and I really like the way you handle it. Plus, to keep it real, I like the compliments you give me.
I mean, I
You
like
know
it
what I'm saying?
better. It works better for me as
Put that
well.
put
So,
put that battery in my bag, girl.
okay.
I
I mean,
want
it works better for me just because I don't really like the compliments. You seem to soak them up. So,
yeah, from my wife. It definitely will.
I mean, I like when you compliment me and it's just you and I, but when it's like in public, I don't know, it feels uncomfortable.
Oh, I don't have a problem with it, y'all. As you can see.
As you can see, I don't know. Women are just different. Like we're very complicated, right? So when it's in public and
That's
it's like for all the world, for me, anyways, it feels a little bit like
Women are complicated. Wow,
cringy.
you
Yeah.
said it, not me.
Okay. I mean, it wasn't like it's not a surprise. Definitely, women are definitely more complicated. But anyway, so this week has been busy as always. Um, this weekend, which never feels like a weekend. I hate even saying the word weekend because I feel like in order for it to be considered the weekend, Friday should also be a day off because
Mm.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But when you just have Saturday and Sunday, it's like
Yeah, it's nothing.
you get
You
Saturday
need
pretty
that
much.
who invented that 4-day week or something like that? You need it.
I don't know who invented it, but
They tried to. Well, in other
no,
countries I know.
some companies
Yeah.
are doing that, but not mine. So, so did pretty much working
So talk
5
to me.
days.
How you feeling today? What's the energy? What's going on?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm. I don't know. I'm just trying to get myself back on track. I feel like I've been living outside of my skin. We've been going through some things personally for the last couple months, and I'm just trying to find my way back to normal.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Finding your way back to normal.
Yes.
That's hold on. So let me kind of start off on that. I
Mm-hmm.
think in marriage, in our marriage, we do little stuff here and there with the kids, and you're doing so much, and we don't know, like, we don't have a balance, or sometimes was it not balance, but I can't think of the word. Dang. Anyway, we got to always come back to each other to regroup,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think you always need that in a marriage, in your marriage, whether it's us or somebody else. You got to regroup because if you don't, you're gonna fall on the wayside, and your marriage is gonna go down the drain. You agree with that?
Yeah.
Oh shoot, she said, "Yeah,
I
that sounds like
mean,
a no."
no, I agree with it. I definitely agree. I think in any relationship, right, if you're not touching base at some point, you're gonna lose traction. You're gonna lose connection. So definitely think that that is relevant to
Mm.
relationships.
You were talking about some things that we were going through in our marriage. Did you want to expound on that? I felt like there was something you want to touch on a
Oh, I
little
feel
bit.
like you just threw me under the bus.
No, I just
Obviously, I have not been ready to talk about that yet. I feel like we keep alluding to it.
so then then we're not gonna talk about it yet. That'll be the next our series that comes up
I
in a
don't know
couple of
when
months.
when I'm ready. I'm not ready yet, y'all. Just know that. Just pray for us. It's been this is one of those words that always trips me up. Tumultuous,
Tumultuous.
tumultuous time. Like very up and down, up and down, up and down. And then like a boom. That was a really good way to explain it. I feel like it has been this like up and down, up and down, up and down, boom moment. Literally
Mm.
since January until now, we're just kind of getting through the boom. And so it's funny. Me and Henry have been, I don't want to say we've been disconnected, but we've been, I think, learning each other on a different level
Mm.
because of what happened in our life. And so I do. I've been doing things like I'll ask him questions about himself that I thought I knew, but I don't know. So like the other night, I asked him when he lost his virginity. First of all, I felt very annoyed because he first of all, he looked at me crazy. I'm like, "What's the big deal? When did you lose your
it was
virginity?"
it was the middle of the night. I was tired, half sleep. So you asked me with a crazy question like that. I already know your mind is spinning and you thinking about stuff
It was
you
like
have no you don't need to be thinking about.
what thinking about stuff I don't need to be thinking about. I could how can you tell me what I don't
Like
need to be thinking
that was
about?
random.
It
But go ahead,
it
go
was
ahead.
random for you,
Finish
but
it.
again, like
Finish your
so
point. Finish.
we've had this wild situation that happened in our lives, right? And so I mean, there's things I don't mind being transparent about, and there's things, but because of that, we haven't been able to connect intimately. So there has to be other ways that we connect intimately. That's not the way that people would typically think about it, right? So I'm asking him like intimate questions. So I'm like, "Yo, when did you lose your virginity?" And mind you, we've been married. It'll be 11 years this year, and I don't know the answer to that. So that was a little strange for
She
me.
did not ask me when. She asked me who.
No, I didn't get there yet. I said when. I said, "How old were you when you lost your
But she
virginity?"
knew all of this.
No, I didn't. He said 17. Okay, bang. I was like, "Oh, okay. It's a decent age." And this also spawns from, since you're wondering where my mind was coming from. Last episode, if y'all remember, Homeboy said he was sowing oats.
Oh my gosh. I knew you was gonna bring that
I'm
up.
just saying, since you were sowing oats, how early did you start the
Yeah,
sow?
just come on.
Okay,
Keep going,
so
keep going.
that's where this stems from. So Homeboy sowing oats. I'm like, okay, when did the sowing start? And then he says 17. Cool. Then I said, who was she? Homeboy still has not told me who. I'm like, just tell me her name. What's the big deal?
And I won't. Like
Why?
it's no need to know all that information.
See, that's where I have a problem. I'm like, that should have been so simple, but here we are like 5 days later, and you still haven't just told me who it was.
I could tell you the name, but it's like you're the only woman that matters.
Don't give me that. I'm the
So
only. I don't want to hear that. Stop.
why would I give you a can of beans or a can of worms, as they say, to open up and start digging?
Why
Like
can't you just say, oh, her name was Angela,
because
Stacy,
any person I
Tamika,
name is gonna be researched and we don't have time for that. We about to be
Kelly,
11 years in. Like that's foolishness.
Dominique? Were any of
Who's you?
those?
DMX going through all these girls'
I'm trying
names?
to figure out
What you think this is?
who what we just said why. Here's the other thing. Harry is very social. So we be out in public and he be introducing me to mad people, women, children, adults, grown people, teachers, doctor, like mad random people. So I'm just wondering. So I said, have I ever met her? Because I wouldn't know. Because we'd be in a grocery store and it'd be, oh, hey, Stacy, how you doing?
Oh my
Come meet
gosh,
my
here
wife.
we
I'm
go.
like, hello. So I'm just saying, was it Stacy?
What are you talking? Oh my god, you
Who,
hear
like,
this? You
I'm
hear
just
this
trying to figure out,
foolishness?
did I meet her before?
No, you never met her before.
Okay, so what was her name?
I'm not gonna do that
Why is it a big
because
deal?
this is the thing. When you
Ask me.
start opening up, I don't need to ask you. I don't want to ask you. And I don't want to know, and I don't care because I'm him. I don't. I'm the only one. And if there was somebody else, then whatever, it's done. You know what I'm saying? Just don't have me looking stupid out here because I'm not gonna have you the same.
This is why I'm asking you her name, so I'm not looking stupid out here. So
You
if we
won't
happen
be.
to run into her and I'm like, oh,
Trust me.
you're
We
Stacy.
not gonna run into nobody. No, you fine. You all right. You all right. Trust me.
What state did she live in?
You're safe with me.
What state did she live in?
You don't have to
So
worry
this
about that
is the
either.
problem though. Like we're having intimacy and you're
That's
not
not intimacy. That's interrogation.
okay. I don't think it's interrogation. I'm asking you some simple questions. Answer the simple questions.
Well, you want me to start asking questions
Go
like
ahead.
that to
Let's
you?
do it. Let's
I
go. Let's
why
go.
I
I'm
don't
an
even
open
want.
book.
No, you're not.
Ask me a
You're an
question.
open book now, but like
Ask me a question.
I don't want to even go through this. This is not what the podcast is about.
This is exactly what the podcast is about.
I'm not gonna ask any crazy questions to this young lady.
50,000,000% is this is what the podcast is about.
I don't want to ask questions that I don't want to hear the answers to.
But I'm gonna ask questions I
If that
want to hear
makes
the answers
sense.
to, and I wanted to answer, and you're not giving it to
Let me
me.
tell you something. That's why I think a lot of men don't ask questions because they don't want to know the answer to, because dudes' feelings be getting hurt. And don't nobody want to have their feelings hurt.
That's
And
fine. So don't ask
so
me that. But if I
I'm not.
ask it, I want an
You don't
answer.
want your feelings hurt either.
But I want my feelings ain't gonna be hurt. I want an answer. You act like I'm gonna go get a private investigator and research the girl. And I
You
didn't even ask for her
you
last name.
you
I was just
might
wondering what her first name
you
is.
might
What
get a
does it start
PI.
with?
I'm not telling you that
This
either.
is ridiculous. This is honestly
It
ridiculous.
it shouldn't be
This is
ridiculous.
ridiculous. Like, we literally should be at a place where you can answer a simple question like that.
Yeah. Well, her name is beep. Like, that's all you're gonna
I
get.
mean, grow up. That was ridiculous too.
Blank this out. Her name is
Did you say Erica?
I didn't say
I was
that.
looking at your lips.
No, I didn't say anything.
What was
I
the
was
name?
I was acting like I was gonna say
You
a name.
mouthed something.
No, I didn't mouth anything.
Okay, you know what? We're in a
But
rabbit
that's
hole.
just, you gotta
Let's
understand.
let's get
People
out.
don't want to be on blast and to protect the sanctity of the
Now you're telling me
situation,
you're protecting her?
because you don't know who
You're the
knows me,
only
and then
first of
who
all,
will like associate. Oh, that's such a
no. Mm-mm.
nah. I'm
First of all,
straight.
first of all, no. First of all, no. Because here, the thing is, I asked you this in the privacy of our own home. It would have never come up if you made it this big. You
And
took this
now you
little
brought it to the
mustard seed and
podcast.
turned it into a mountain. Because had you just answered me the other day, I'd be like, oh, okay. And that would have been done. But now you have it like building itself up in my mind. Now I'm like, I want to know everything about this person now. But that's only because if you'd have just answered the question then, it would have been done and over.
I need a glass of ice water to
Whatever.
cool you down.
Anyways, who cares? I don't care. I do care, but you were not going to tell me, which is annoying.
Who
So
cares? I do care. You're okay. Thank you
let's
for
move on.
moving on,
We've just
Shiral.
spent 10 minutes talking about someone you don't want to talk about, which is extremely annoying. But, anyways, back to
Reality.
reality, I guess. I mean, it's still reality. But anyways, so like I said, we've been exercising different ways of connecting. So
Mm-hmm.
one thing, my husband's love language is touch,
Talk about it. Talk about it.
is touch. And so I have been extremely more affectionate, I think. Do you agree with that? I'm way more touchy.
Would I get in trouble if I say no?
No, I want you to be
No,
honest.
I'm just joking. Nah, you have been, honestly. You have been more affectionate, and the touch factor.
The touch factor. That's the name of this episode.
The touch
The
factor.
touch factor, which is also funny because you won't tell me the first person you touched, but get it.
Wow. Jesus. He touched me. That's the first person.
Okay. We want to play these
Any
games.
any
Anyways,
yeah,
so I've
anyway.
been definitely trying, not even trying, I've wanted to touch you more,
Yeah.
which as I mean, are you being honest though? Do you feel like there could be more?
There's always room for growth in anything that happens in a marriage. No,
Room
I'm
for
I'm
growth.
no, I'm not saying that in a negative aspect, like a positive aspect. Like women could be like, I can always use a little bit more money or flowers or shoes or purses, right?
Yes.
Exactly. So
Yes.
like
And
I
yes.
think for fellas, like we can always use like a little bit more kisses, hugs, fun time. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, so you're doing good, you're doing great. It's continuing on, and I'm appreciative of that.
Mhm.
I'm thankful.
Well, I think I would continue to try. I think one of the lessons that has come out of this very extreme situation that our life has just went through,
A traumatic
it, our
experience.
traumatic experience, I think, is that I think it brought us closer.
Mhm.
Because, like I said, it's not necessarily something I'm trying at this point. I really want you near me,
Yeah.
and I think when in a marriage, like we go through all these different life together, right? We're lifing together, and life brings whatever it feel like bringing at the time. And so through each moment, there should be growth. happening with you and your spouse. And I feel like because of the velocity of what just happened, like, it was this, like, intense movement of, like, connection for us.
Mm.
Like, so it's one and not only how I interact with my husband, I also see him in a different light. Um, like, I see his strength, and I was able to, like, just tap and hold on to it during this time, and I think that that is why I wanna be close to you and why I wanna touch you, because, like, when you can
Mm.
physically see someone's strength and know that they are the reason why you are standing, literally, um, it just changes the way that you look at them.
Wow.
I think that happens both ways too. So, like, I've been in past relationships, right, where it was like a sucky relationship and it you I was like in the beginning everything was great and then something happened that was a reality of that situation and
Mhm.
then your eyes it's almost like the blinders are taken off and it's like, "Whoa, who is this person? Why was I dealing with them?" Right? That had the opposite of that happened with us. Like this terrible situation happened and like not the blinders were taken off, but, like, it was almost like I could see you differently, more clearly.
Mm.
And so that clarity can be good or bad, but with you, obviously, the man you are, it was, like, great clarity. I was like, "Wow, this is the man that I'm married to? How lucky am I?" Right?
Mhm.
So,
Thank you.
I think that happens when you're faced with adversity in your marriage. You're either gonna see the person for who you wish they weren't, or you're gonna see the person for you who you didn't even know they were because it's so great. And and that definitely I think takes us our intimacy level to a different
Mhm.
plane.
I believe that trauma breeds character traits, like, for you to
Mm.
really to see people's character,
Mhm.
whether they're good or bad or can be better, like, trauma has a way of bringing the best out of people or bringing the worst out of people,
It does.
especially in a marriage, like and I always you'll always hear me reference that, y'all, saying, like, especially in a marriage because that's the perspective I'm coming from in this podcast. It's like, I can't go through anything by myself anymore. I have to go through things with Sherelle, and I have to learn how to accept what she says when she sees me going through things because I can't just say like this is the way I process information or pain or I go to like I gotta also allow her to see it like, hey, help me if I'm not doing what you think I should be doing in my processing. You get what I'm saying? Like,
I do. I do get what so, like,
yeah,
you are saying you're open to feedback,
yeah, and
even though
I
you're not necessarily always open to feedback.
yeah, it's like what's that trend they do? Like we listen and we don't judge. It's kind of like just listen to my pain right now, but like don't
Mhm.
judge me on it, how I deal with it.
Mhm.
I just need you to be here.
Mhm. But do you
To
want the feedback? Because sometimes I don't want the feedback. Sometimes, like, I'm going through something, and of course, like you said, because we're married, you're also in some form going through it. But sometimes I want to tell you what I'm going through, but I don't want your feedback. I just want
yeah,
you to be there and listen, and consider me, but I don't want your feedback.
got you. I think for me as a husband, naturally I'm gonna try to problem solve, right? And be like, oh well, bum 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 bum. And you be like, just listen to me,
Yeah,
Henry.
like,
Like,
yo,
don't
bro.
say nothing. And I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna listen and be quiet. But then sometimes when you give feedback, give it to me when I'm in a receptive mood because sometimes I'm not there to receive. And I don't want
Mm.
my responses to be like, oh, well, I ain't telling you nothing else then, Henry. Like, forget it.
No, I know, and I think I'm still learning that.
Yeah.
Learning how to, you know,
Mm.
kind of gauge where you are. So like if you're coming to me, you're venting to me about, I don't know, I'm just making this at work, right? I can kind of tell like, does he want me to give my advice on this?
Mm.
Right? Or does he just want me to listen? And that's very important. Like it don't always have to be your advice.
Mhm.
You can listen. And sometimes listening is better communication than having, to voice how you think something should happen. Sometimes you should allow people to process and come up with a solution on their own. And usually at that point, that's when they want to talk about it. Like, hey, you know what I was thinking? Da 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 da. And now we can have a
Mm,
conversation. But it's okay to let someone like go through their own process, even in a marriage, especially,
that's
right?
good. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. So that's just my 2 cent, you know.
That was more than 2 cents, y'all. That was 4 cents.
Okay.
But listen, y'all, we appreciate y'all for listening today. Thank you for tuning to the podcast. We are going to end it right there. Session 4, what we call it? The something something.
I don't even remember.
Yeah. Listen, y'all, check us out. Marriage Unmastered, IG, Facebook. Oh, I said IG already.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. MarriageUnmastered.com.
That's
MarriageUnmastered
over
at
there.
gmail.com. Hit us up. Give us your input, your insight. Leave a comment. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, y'all.
Yeah, we're looking for feedback.
Definitely.
All right, y'all. Thanks so much for joining. We'll talk to you next week.
All right.
Bye.